particularly depending on the size of the project, who is going to do the evaluation, what are the requirements. Most funders may point out how they hope to evaluate your project performance. If they do, that makes your work easy. If they are bringing an external evaluator to evaluate you, you must prepare yourself for the appearance of such external evaluators. Now, if evaluation is needed, identify the purpose of your evaluation. What are they looking for? Demonstrate that the scope of evaluation is appropriate for the project. You are not going to use 10 professors to evaluate a project carried out by one PhD student. Demonstrate the extent to which the process is practical and relevant, and so on. These are available. You can always look at them. Then, of course, sustainability. After the funder has funded you and has already left the site, what is left? Is the funder's presence going to continue to improve your institution? For instance, if NRF funds a project in the sciences, they want you to buy a colorimeter and you write the name of NRF, or you write the project funding details as donated by TED Fund through NRF. They are going to ask you to buy maybe some funds can buy a tractor for say a department or for a researcher. That tractor is not going to expire because the project has ended. This is sustainability. There should be a way of keeping this tractor in use 10 years, 5 years after the project has ended. What is it that will happen? Who is going to ensure this sustainability? Is there a contribution from your institution? Is there going to be contribution from a third party, another funding agency? Are you hoping to get this project continued long after NRF has ended its own contribution, perhaps by using the result as a jumping board to apply for European Union funding? This is sustainability. Okay, money matters, budgeting. I am going to be very fast here, but I need you to pay attention to what budget entails. It is more than just a statement of proposed expenditure. You are not going to tell a funder total cost 100 million, total cost 50 million, and then you just put it there. You must account for every money. And I'll tell you something. Funding agencies are more knowledgeable about money than grantees. Grantees know too little about money. If you look at something like MacArthur Foundation, more than 70% of all MacArthur Foundation staff are money people. So if you are going to tell somebody, I am going to buy one laptop for this project, it is Core i10 or Core i5 or Core i7. The funder knows how much Dell Core i5 costs anywhere in the world based on the global costing template. So if you need a Core i5 and you are going to tell a funder, I'm going to spend 3.5 million naira to buy a laptop Core i5, they already know that you are a fraudulent person. They know because they would have budgeted without telling you that the maximum cost for this computer is 1.9 million. So to tell them you are going to spend 3.5 million, it means you are not an honest person. Now, this is particularly important if you come from a developing country. I'll tell you a story that may make you feel bad. If you apply for a project and a Ghanaian applies for the same project and you propose 2 million and a Ghanaian proposes 2.2 million, an international agency is likely going to fund the Ghanaian and jump the Nigerian. You know why? Don't ask me. If the same proposal is made by somebody from Kenya for 2.1 million, the Kenyan is probably going to get funded. There is already a trust deficit. And if you come from a background with trust deficit, you have to work extra hard to show that you are exemplary. Budgeting is important. Don't put too much money in miscellaneous. Nobody funds miscellaneous. Nobody funds miscellaneous. People fund specific item. You can put an overhead of 1%, 2%, 3%. But by all means, tie funding items to realistic market prices. Even the cost that will go to you as a personnel cost must be tied to your own current income. If your current income is 1 million and you are going to give 10% of your time, it means that the best you can ask from that project is 15%, 15% of your own current project income, which is why United Nations and something like European Union or any European Union agency, if you are submitting a proposal to them, you will provide evidence of the income of every identified key participant. And they are going to tie your own retained income to what you are already adjudged as your worth by your country. Okay. Money matter. There are all sorts of small items that you can fund: instruction, equipment, supplies, communication, material preparation, travels, rental, evaluation, other expenses. Travel is tricky, right? The country has a benchmark for funding travel by kilometer. Use the national benchmark in preparing your costs. There is a benchmark for funding per diem. In Nigeria today, level 15, level 16 officer is 45,000. You can't ask for 200,000 when you are level 8 officer, because your country already says that what a level 15 officer can take as per diem is 45,000. So how come you, as a level 8 officer, now want 200,000 naira per diem? Okay, budget. Ask key questions after you have prepared your budget. Provide specific resources to carry out your project. Is it done? Yes. Include a budget narrative that justifies major budget categories. Is it done? Yes. Present the budget in a format desired by the funder. Have you done that? Yes. Now, please, when you are budgeting, don't think you have a format that is better than what the funder has provided you with, because the funding analysis may be machine done. It may be handled by a machine. Once you do not use the funder's format, you are out. Separate direct costs from indirect costs and describe what is covered in the letter. Every indirect cost must be clearly identified and explained. Relate budget items to project objectives. An easy way to do budgeting is, when you have identified your objectives, specific actions that address the objective, tie costs to it. You are going to carry out XYZ experiment. This is the cost. Now, I think I've done 1 hour. Sundry issues, staff administration, available resources. Don't claim that your institution will make no contribution. The very least, they will provide you power, most likely. They will provide you water. They will provide you space. They will provide security. These items are sometimes tangible. For instance, if your organization says the cost of a space is this, okay? But if there is room for identifying them, identify them. If you cannot cost them, leave them as in-kind contribution. But if you can put cost to them, please do. Now, this is concept note. I will leave the matter of concept note because it was almost a full proposal. But look at the key components of a concept note. Then, of course, there are references. I have included references that will enable you, look for funders. But whether you find funding within any of these funding agencies or not, the important thing is to know that for you to find funding, you must be a friend of the internet. You must be internet savvy. You must be patient. You must search for money. Money is never going to search for you. There are more funding opportunities here. Thank you very much. Coordinator, I think I've done 1 hour.
Wow, Prof, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. In fact, students, I believe you've gained a lot of things from this presentation this morning. Sorry, we don't have much time, maybe just 5 minutes. I can see a few hands up. So please, Isaac, unmute yourself, ask your question. Just go straight to the question, don't waste time, because the next presenter is already here.
Prof, thank you so much for this presentation.
Yes,
I just have two questions. The first one is there a template for Gantt chart? Then the second question is, if your project involves, say, evaluating interleukin and then RNA sequencing, for your specific objective, are you going to give detailed methodology of each of these, two evaluations, the interleukin evaluation and then DNA sequence, when you're writing your proposal, or you have to write a general methodology that covers how we are going to carry out the project? Thank you so much.
Okay, quickly. If you are going to tie money, if you are going to tie money to any of these two methods, you will have to describe it. If you do not have room for describing it in detail, you must provide an authority reference. DNA sequencing will be carried out using the method of XYZ. Okay, it is already expected that your assessor either is conversant with it or can assess it and use it to say, okay, you are going to carry out this by this method. At this point now, you can tie money to it. But unless you present step by step, item by item activity, you can't allocate money. Then for Gantt chart, a Gantt chart is a fixed item. That is the same thing the world over. You do not have, I mean, there is no, once it is Gantt chart, it is that material that I showed you. It is up to you to sequence it the way you want. Whether your project is for 3 months, 4 months, 3 years, 4 years, you must sequence it that way. There is no, it's not a flexible material. You don't have room for changing a Gantt chart. It is there. Once the funder says include a Gantt chart, it's fixed. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Prof, for that wonderful presentation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes, Tevas.
Go ahead with your question. Not ask to unmute.
I'm here.
Good morning, Prof.
Sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, please, Prof, thank you for the lecture. Can you please mention again when you talked about the objectives, simple? You used the mnemonic simple. My internet wobbled that time. I would appreciate to know what the simple, SIMPLE.
I will share this slide with you if you do me an email.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Prof, you need to send it to PG School so that they will share it on
I
their
will,
platform.
I will send it to PG School. As soon as I drop, I'll drop it in PG School platform.
In addition, Prof, sir.
Thank you.
In addition, Prof, sir.
Yes.
Yes, please. I know you must have written a lot about grants, and you must have different templates.
Yes.
I wouldn't know if you are going to send some part of those templates for us so we can be able to go through them and see how it is being arranged, because most of us, this is coming as is coming at the first time. So we will need some kind of sample where we can be looking at and see how we can further develop
I'll just give you a straight one. Just
All
go
right,
to
Prof.
Just go to NRF, TED Fund NRF. Download a template. It's almost a global standard.
Okay.
It's not rocket science. Just go to NRF, TED Fund NRF, or terras.com. That is what the National Research Foundation is using. But I can assure you, it is the same. There are just minor differences. But you will see in some places, they can give you word count or word limit per section.
All right.
In some, they won't give you word limit. So they expect you to write all you want to write. But the templates are basically similar. If you go to a TED Fund website, you'll download a template.
Oh, all right, Prof.
Prof, can we have the materials later? Can you give us the materials? Good morning, and thank you for...
Sure. It's a PG School property after now, provided they pay me. I'll give it to PG School, but if you do me an email, I'll share with you.
We take the last question, please. Abba, please ask your question. Please, you can send maybe type your questions in the chat. We'll forward it to Prof so that you provide the answers. The last question, please.
Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for the
Good
lecture.
morning, Albert.
I will want some little clarification. During the course of your presentation, your objectives were not actionable. Like in my department, they normally say to. When you were saying it, you were saying to do something, to do this, to determine, to do something. But in your slide, there was no to. So I wanted
No. The language of presentation does not really change anything. The important thing is that objectives must be actionable. No matter what you're studying, objectives should be actionable within the framework of your own professional requirements. But I would be surprised to see an objective that is not actionable.
Okay, so Levinus, let's give you that benefit of that. Ask your question, just be fast.
Thank you very much, madam. My question is, can we be given grant for this PhD research writing?
Grant? You want money from us?
Yeah, no, not from you, from any of the international agencies.
Yes, sure. A whole lot of, for instance, in the social sciences, everywhere, it's not just social sciences. You know about, if you look clearly, you would have seen a funding agency, a funding agency that is working in the area of interest. A PhD proposal is not a large grant. So there will be several agencies. For instance, if you are an engineer, it is possible to even get funding from unusual sources. National Communication Commission, for instance, if your project is going to solve a problem for National Communication Commission, it is possible to get funding to do that. Raw Material Research and Development Council, they can give you funding to do something if a particular project that you want to carry out is going to solve a problem that has been lingering for them. For TED Fund will not fund postgraduate program. They won't fund outside the window of postgraduate training. They will not give you a grant for research. But they can fund you, for instance, if your university proposes you for funding. But yes, can you be given a grant for your PhD? Certainly, but you must look for it. The grant is not going to look for you.
It's okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Ejimofa Leonard, please ask your question.
Thank you so much. I think I wouldn't want to continue with the question because it has been attended to. Some people asked the same question, so there's no need repeating myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, do that, please, first.
Thank you, Prof, for that presentation. Prof, please, can we submit a same proposal to more than one funder? And again, if you're, okay, thank you. If you're doing your budget and you add money considering inflation, would you be considered dishonest? Thank you, sir. Nova.
You can't propose hoping that inflation will damage your budget. You propose on the basis of funding situation here. Supposing inflation drops, are you going to refund the excess to the funder?
So what should we do? Because you can't tell a funder that something increased after they must have given you money, maybe the price of the...
You can tell a funder that at the time you wanted to, at the time you proposed this, the cost of doing this was 1,000 naira. By the time you got to that point in the Gantt chart where a particular action is supposed to have been done, the cost of that same item has gone to 1,500. It is up to the funder to say, implement half of it, implement none of it, or to add money as additional funding. But you cannot, knowing that something costs 1,000 today, begin to hope that by the time I get to do this, it will increase to 120%. If it does not increase, what will happen to that extra? Are you going to refund it to the funder?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. The last question, Okoro Michael, please.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okoro Michael.
Okay, hello, good morning. Prof.
Yes,
thank you so much, bro.
Yes.
So,
we come from Okoro Michael.
Okoro Michael, yes, Prof.
Yes, learning a DNA center.
Yes, we come from private institutions, and most times we have this difficulty with grant funders, especially within Nigeria. Has there been any framework to merge private institutional funding who conduct same research, who have Nigerian citizens, to be able to benefit from TED fund grant? Because we've battled with that all over the time. Even when we wrote one with the then Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Bonna, he still didn't go through, citing that TED fund doesn't fund private institutions.
TED fund funds everybody, but TED fund will not fund a project where the principal investigator is from a private institution. If the principal investigator is from a state or federal or, well, government institution, TED fund will fund it. In that case, the other researcher who is not the principal investigator benefits. For instance, if I were to be doing a proposal with you, I am in a government institution and you are in a private institution, we can propose a project that may even part of it or much of it implemented in your private university. But the person or the agency they want to deal with is somebody in a government institution. They have their reasons, okay? But a whole lot of it is that they do not regulate the private institutions directly. They don't regulate them directly.
Okay, I know we still have more questions. Emmanuel, you want a quick one, please. You're wasting our time. We can't take all the questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof.
Yes,
thank you so much, Prof, for the presentation.
Yes.
Please, Prof, could you the difference between research and grant writing? Simple difference.
Grant is the vehicle by which you get money for research. Grant is the vehicle. Grant writing is the vehicle by which you get money for research. Okay? I mean, there is nothing to distinguish. Research is research. Research is an investigation, searching for more, right? Grant is the money that you will use to do the searching. Does that address you?
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Yes.
Okay.
Prof, please, let's just have mercy for these two hands up. Let's just take the last two questions there.
No problem.
So sorry. Okay. Aluga, unmute and then ask your question.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Prof, for that impactful presentation. When I was going through the slide for a statement of the problem, I saw some expressions to avoid, like nothing is known, little is known about this particular area of interest for the study. So I wish to know the right words or expressions to use when you're writing your statement of the problem.
Okay, now let me help us to clarify this. Whereas you can do when you're writing a journal article, you can say that little is known about this. That is journal article, right? But when you are looking for money, you can't say that little is known about this. What it means is that it is not a problem. If little is known about something, it is not a problem. Okay, why do you want to wake a sleeping dog? Okay, for a paper, for a publication, you can couch your feeling your basis, you're raising the tar in that language, but you're looking for money to be able to investigate something, you would have to present that a problem exists. That cocoyam spoilage is a major problem that is ravaging crop production. But you can't say that little is known about cocoyam spoilage. If you say that, it means it shouldn't be a problem for the funder. So it's a very thin line. It's a very thin line that can spoil things for a researcher. But always try to avoid something that will create the impression that there is no problem. A funder wants to know that really there is a problem.
The last person, Chidi, one, please unmute and ask your question.
All right. Good morning, Prof. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Okay. My question is very simple, Prof. What are other complementary documents that you have to attach when sending your research proposal to funders? And two, clarify the difference between research proposal and concept note, because you made mention of concept note and a template for concept note at the end. Please clarify the difference between the two, please.
That's fine, no problem. Documents to attach are almost always identified by the funder. The funder may want your CV, okay? And sometimes when they want a CV, a current CV, their target is to identify your own competence, So the CV must be such that identifies your competence relative to the proposal you are submitting. You need to be able to say, I have worked in this area. You may not have solved that particular type of problem, but you have competence. And how do you show this competence? Your publication, your conference visibility, your international visibility, these are the things you highlight in an additional document if they want a CV from you. If they want MOU, say I want to work with Godfrey Okoye University, Department of Biotechnology, I need to sign an MOU with them. If that is required, I need to execute an MOU and attach it. Sometimes they want evidence that your university is willing to host this particular activity, in which case the chief executive must sign a document for you. These are all clearly identified by the funder. The funder will tell you, provide this or provide that. Your second question has to do with what now?
Yes, you made mention of, at the end, you made mention of concept note. I'm asking differentiate between research proposal and concept note.
A concept note is a small version of that proposal. If you look at National Research Foundation now, the call is almost out. If it's not out, it will be out any moment. They will ask for a concept note, and it is volume limited and specified. They will probably ask for 3 pages, 4 pages, but every section is abridged. The reason for concept note is that when big funding agencies make a call, thousands and thousands of people are going to apply. And they are going to have a small number of evaluators who will read these thousands of materials. They are not, so to say, experts. They are not going to be experts in that field who will look at the nitty-gritty of your proposal. But there are people with good knowledge, fair enough knowledge. These people will do a first read and decide, oh, this project, if it is developed along this line, is fundable. So the concept note is an abridged version of your, which is why mostly when they tell you to submit, proceed to full submission, they require less than a month because they already believe that you have the entire story wrapped up in your head. What you just need to do is to flesh it out. If you look at the outline for concept note, you will notice that it follows almost the same outline as the full proposal, except that it becomes shorter, smaller versions. Okay.
Prof, can you share your email address again?
It is there, jerry.ugwuanyi@.
Prof, thank you so much. We're really grateful. And I believe we've learned a lot from this, your presentation. So thanks a lot. So we'll move over to the second presentation.
Please, can you repeat your email?
When you get his presentation, I believe his email is there. You get it from them. Thank you. So the next presentation we have now, luckily our presenter, the first person is here. It's also another important and interesting aspect. So many of you, I believe you have been eager to learn more about that. It's talking about impact factor, publishing in impact factor journals. So I believe as one of the requirements for you to complete this program, you're expected to publish in an impact factor rated journal. So please, you listen, pay attention to our resource person, take your notes as usual. If you have any question at the end of the presentation, you feel free to ask. And the PhD school, they did a lot, selected a competent person that will really give you what you want as regards to impact factor in the person of a Professor Grace Former. Many of you know her. So please pay attention. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone on board. I want to start by appreciating the College of Postgraduate Studies for the former director, the former provost, and the current one for this for organizing this workshop. I think it's a worthwhile exercise for our PG students to be educated in research. We know that research is a very important component of your studies. We train you in our different programs on seminars. The essence is to equip you with the necessary competencies to be able to speak to audiences, like in conferences, workshops like this one, and so on. You can meet the resource person, and we expect you to speak, to be able to speak correctly. Now we are talking of research, which is a very important component of your study. We know the importance of research in PG studies, because even before you graduate, you're expected to have published 1 or 2 papers from what you have done, your research. And after graduation, you're expected to be publishing. I can publish from your PhD thesis. Otherwise, it will be tucked away, and that knowledge you have generated cannot be accessed by people outside the university. So, and you know, most universities upload your thesis for others to see the grounds you have broken or the new areas you have identified. So research is a very important component of postgraduate studies, and it helps in career progression. Now you graduate as a PhD holder, you apply for a job. One of the components to be looked at by your during the interview is how much you have published. If you have published articles in journals, you are ahead of others who have no publication. It gives you more points and gives you the opportunity to get the job. So it is important that we publish in journals. But today, we are talking about impact factor indexed journals, which are higher, more impactful than ordinary journals that are not indexed. Some universities insist that journals are more important, and I think they are. They are more important than book chapters or books. But some of us concentrate on writing books to make money. But you know, in books, after some years, the information in the books become obsolete. The journals are more current because they are publishing and publishing and publishing. So next. So people are advised to publish more in journals. Journal publication has no limitation when we come to career progression. You can publish as many as possible, but you are advised not to publish a certain number in a certain volume. You have to limit. You don't publish 3, 4, 5 articles in one journal. It is not your personal property to give room for others to publish, and institutions don't accept that. But you may have 1 or 2 journal articles in a volume of the journal. So in this presentation, we want to first of all explain certain concepts like indexed journals, which goes with H index of the journal. So we are going to look at why publishing matters. What is the rationale for publishing? Then we are going to explain what is H index, which is very, very important if we are talking about the visibility and the quality of a journal. Then we are going to look at indexed journals or indexing bodies. We are going to look at indexing databases. And then we are going to explain what impact factor means. And then what are the impact factor rated journals and the benefits of publishing in impact factor journals. Then we conclude and make some recommendations. So why do we publish in journals or impact factor rated journals? I listened partially to the last presenter who talked about visibility, which is very, very important. The research publication in impact factor rated journals enhances academic credibility. When a journal is indexed, it then means that that journal is very valid and reliable and very impactful. So it enhances credibility and career progression. There is a dictum by academics, publish or perish. What does this mean? That if you publish, you'll be promoted. I remember in my own case, I was a graduate assistant for years, and this university did not know what to do with graduate assistants. Then we were the very first set. At a point, most of us got our masters. For years, we were being called graduate assistants. We formed an association of graduate assistants and created that forum to reach the administration. We continued writing until Professor Ikoku of the blessed memory came on board as the vice chancellor. So he constituted a committee and said, look at the plight of the graduate assistants. Some of us had our masters 2-3 years, and we are still being called a graduate assistant. You want to teach, they tell you don't teach, you are still a graduate assistant. You're a research student, you don't enter the classroom. So that committee arrived at inviting us for an interview, which they said is an interview for proper placement. And they looked at our research productions. And some of us were not publishing. Some were publishing. I was one of the people that were publishing. I'm a conference person. I attend every conference, even today, as a professor. Some will be professor, and they said they have arrived, and that is the end. But me, I attend conferences, and I don't go without a paper. I must present a paper. So I had a number of publications. And when they looked at my publications there, I was moved from graduate assistant to senior lecturer. And it's like heaven will fall. People started talking. How can? It's never done in this university. But then, when I got my letter from the from personnel, it showed that year I got my master's. After 1 year, I became assistant lecturer, isn't it? Then the next year, I moved to lecturer 2, which was free, whether publication or not. So my publication started counting when I was lecturer 2. And I made a double jump from lecturer 2 to senior lecturer. So it was clear, nobody cheated anybody. It was just my hard work. So after a point, that died down and nobody took it away from me. Even when I wanted to, I applied for professorship. One of the professors said, go and sit down, we don't want to produce baby professor. But anyway, I obeyed him and waited till the next year. The following year, I had to put my papers. Because when you attend conferences and present papers, you have a lot. You have publications in journals because many professional organizations have their journals. Once they organize their yearly conferences, they publish good papers in their journals and you have your publication. It's just as easy as that. But if you are sleeping and thinking that manna will come from heaven, no, manna has ceased falling from heaven. You have to work hard. So research publication is a vital component of postgraduate studies and a key driver of academic career progression. I have explained that. Journal articles are generally valued more highly than book chapters, and they play a greater role in academic promotion. I have explained that from my little story. This presentation explores index journals, impact factor, and H-index as essential indicators for selecting reputable journals and enhancing research visibility. What is H-index? This is somebody's name, George H. of 2005, proposed or propounded a measure of productivity and citation impact by counting the number of articles published in a journal and the number of citations of the journal article. That will give you the H-index of your publication. It is used to assess journal influence and personal metrics, but interpreted alongside other indicators like impact factor, the scope, to avoid over-reliance. H-index is calculated based on the number of published articles. How many articles have you published? And the number of citations. How many people have cited your journals? When I look at my citations, some people will read the article without citing you. They will just tell you how many people that have read your article, and that is all. It has no score. But how many people that have cited your article gives you that a lift in academics. So for example, a H-index of 30 means that at least 30 articles have each been cited 30 times or more. So a higher H-index signifies greater citation and academic influence. It means people like that publication and are citing you. It gives you prestige and it has a research impact within a particular discipline. We are going to see some of the disciplines and the areas, their databases where you can index your articles. Researchers and universities use H-index to evaluate journal quality and academic performance. Although only highly cited publications contribute to H-index. I remember when I did my sabbatical leave at Rivers State University of Science and Technology. And what they were using then was H-index of your publications to assess you as a professor or as a senior lecturer, as the case may be. So H-index is important. Some universities use that for assessment. But in our own university, we use the indexed journals, and we identified 3 major indexing bodies that we can use, like Thomson Reuters, Schimago, and SNP. These are the 3 areas, databases that have been recognized and approved by the University of Nigeria for promotion of academic staff. So what do you do when you want to look for where to publish your article? You have to look for index journals and verify the scope. Each journal, if you go to the journal page or information about the journal, it will explain the scope, tells you what areas you can focus on in researching and publishing. And then it will, before you submit, then avoid predatory outlets. There are journals that are not acceptable. People hack other journals. And if you are not careful, you publish there, and the university will find out and tell you that this is not acceptable. So you have to be very careful and know which one is a good indexed journal or a predatory journal. There is peer-reviewed journals. Good indexed journals are well reviewed, but you see some adverts online. Submit paper today, it is reviewed to the next day, and next day is published. Avoid that because it has no meaning. It has not done a good job. At least reviewing should take some weeks for you to read the articles properly and identify the corrections or whatever you want, depending on the scope and the journal peculiarities. So we should also try to collaborate. Some of us have mentors. Work with your mentor because your mentor is more experienced and can direct you and guide you in what to do, what to write and how to write, what to cover, and so on, and the scale. The last presenter talked on grant writing, which is one way you can get some money to do your research. So collaboration is very, very important. Then look at the methodology and make sure the journal uses a rigorous methodology. Otherwise, it is a wishy-washy thing and it will not be indexed. Clear reporting to increase acceptance and citation potentials. You have to report clearly. We know the components of a journal, the introduction that covers what you have in your thesis. It covers chapters 1 and 2, everything there, but put under introduction. It shows the set of the art. Your literature is under introduction, and you conclude by writing the research question. What is that problem? The research problem, the objectives, and so on, and the research question. That ends your introduction. Then you move to methodology, where you explain the procedure and the processes you will undertake to collect your data and so on, and the nature of data and how you are going to collect your data and so on. Then the result, the analysis, and then your discussion and the conclusion and a recommendation. These are the steps you take in writing a journal article. So you have to select journals that are listed in major databases. We have major databases for different disciplines, like Web of Science, for the sciences. Scopus, those in arts, either visual or performing arts, can publish in Scopus. PubMed, to enhance discoverability. If you are discovered globally, you'll be cited, and you know the implication of a high citation. If you write for a grant, it will give you a leap over others. Then there are subject-specific databases like ERIC, IEEE for Engineering Explore, SEM. These help you reach your discipline's audience and increase the likelihood of citation. People who are in the same discipline would like to know what is happening in their area of specialization, and then cite. So indexed journals appear in data. So these are some of the databases for different disciplines. In education, you have ERIC. In engineering, you have IEEE Explore. Computer science, you have SEM Digital Library. Mathematics, you have MathSciNet. Chemistry, CAS. Economics, REPEC. Nursing, CINAL. Then Science Direct for science. And then in arts, as I've said, the Scopus. So now, these are the indexing bodies that you can use to publish your articles in indexed journals. Now let's look at the concept of factor. Somebody
most companies like that same example. That one we used to have to have you had any experience or work from somewhere for.
Okay, what is impact factor? We are talking of impact factor. When this university introduced publications in impact factor, academics did not like that because it is not easy to publish in an impact factor rated journal. We are just publishing in our national, international journals without indexing bodies. So, but today, we are happy to announce that we have keyed into that dispensation. Many academics, many staff, academic staff find it easy today because it exposed our knowledge. Even when Professor Nebo came here as a professor, he wanted us to upload our publication. People said, no, I don't want people to see my publication. They will copy what I have written. But today we are talking of visibility. It is when you upload it, people will see what you have done and be able to cite you. And the more you are cited, the more prestigious you are, the more famous, let me use that word, you are globally in the academic world. So impact factor is the average citation received by articles published in a journal during the previous number of years. And it indicates journal citation performance. If you publish in a journal, you will see the graph showing you the level of citation for number of years. You will see the graph. And some journals that have been indexed, because they derail from the conditions or situations given by the indexing body, they are dropped. And we say they are discontinued. If they are discontinued, nobody will acknowledge them during promotion. They will be dropped. But in this university, we give 1 year of grace, not my own grace anyway, 1 year of grace, because you may send your article out and it take, like Thomson Reuters, it takes time. It's not something you do within 1 month, you get a response. It takes time. So we say, okay, it will take like 1 year. If you submit this year, your paper may not be published this year, it may be next year. So when you have 1 year gap, we still acknowledge that your paper was in the process of being published. So the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, accepts a 1 year gap between when the journal was accepted and when it was discontinued, when it is discontinued. So impact factor indicates prestige, influence, and citation performance. So when you publish in such indexed journals, they are prestigious and they have influence because many people will like to read the articles, and then the performance is high. Publishing in impact factor rated journals often requires rigorous peer review and higher methodological standards. It aims at aligning research relevance with the journal audience. Remember, we talked about discipline. So some of us in one discipline will go and join others in another discipline to publish. When you're applying for promotion and that journal does not reflect, or that article does not reflect your area of specialization, we regard it as a minor publication. You must publish in your area of specialization. These are recognized. So there's what is being practiced today, what they call put my name syndrome. See, one person is writing, and 2 or 3 will say, oh, so this topic, it will be accepted. Please, could you add my name? And the person's name will be added. It doesn't know anything about the journal or the content. We know all this. So the put my name syndrome, you publish, but you don't know, you're not knowledgeable in that area. If it is not your area, we see people in English publishing with people in mathematics. English is not mathematics. Economics is not psychology, as the case may be. Say we are in the same faculty. It's just a minor publication for you, but a major publication for the person that initiated the research. So some also pay to be corresponding authors or to be lead authors when they don't know anything, just for the sake of getting promoted. It is not fair. We should be more honest than that. So impact factor indicates the journal scope, we show you, and the editorial quality. Publishing in impact factor rated journals, okay, I've said that, requires rigorous peer review and high methodological standards. So one should consider impact factor alongside scope when you want to publish. Look at the scope, the coverage. Does it cover your area of specialization? Or you just want to publish for the sake of publishing, you join others. What is the editorial quality? Do they have good editors? Do they read? In short, if you want to publish in an impact factor rated journals, you will review your paper a number of times. You write and return, and they will return it and say, do this. It has happened to me. If you are annoyed, you won't respond, and they will drop it, drop your paper. But you have to be dogged. You have to be serious. Once they say, this is not correct, this is not acceptable to us, you go and do what you are asked to do and return the paper. They will still return. It may go 4 or 5 times. In the end, it will be accepted. You see the rigors it goes into. impact factor rated journals have official impact factor and is listed in Clarivate's journal citation reports. I think Clarivate is the highest, and it passes through rigorous quality evaluation, which I have explained. Don't give up. Don't say, oh, they rejected. They did not reject. They say, do this. You will see so many red marks. Go to those points where you have red marks and review them and do what you are asked to do. In the end, your paper will be published and you'll be happy. And people will read it and be happy. And they will cite you because it is a good paper that contributed to the academic world. So impact factor is only one quality indicator. It considers scope, editorial quality, audience, and the visibility. So what do we benefit from publishing in indexed journals? It enhances career progression. If you are applying for a job at the end of your program and you have published in an indexed journal, it gives you a higher mark and it takes you higher than your colleagues. And then for funding prospects, Professor Jerry Ugwani mentioned that if you have good publications and you cite them in your proposal, then there is more likelihood that your proposal will be funded by a funding body. It shows research quality and it boosts your reputation and even the reputation of your institutions. Sometimes we see that, we hear that staff from this university discovered this, published that, and it's kudos to that institution. It increases opportunity for collaboration. People will read your article and they will write you and say, please, I want to work with you in that area you have published. Collaboration and international or global collaboration is very important. It exposes you to people and other areas. You get calls or mails asking you whether you would want to collaborate with them or that they love this article, whether you should send them full paper, as the case may be. That shows that your paper is very valid and good. So it increases citation impact. People will cite you. They read your article and they will cite the article. The more you are cited, the more famous and prestigious you become. It improves the H index. We have seen what H index means. As people cite your work, your H index will increase. And it demonstrates research quality. So it shows that your publication is of high quality and people will like to read you and cite you. And it enhances credibility. You are credible, a credible academician. It also improves promotion opportunities. I have said that some use indexed journals for publication. In UNN, we have a number of articles you should publish in Thomson Reuters if you are moving on to reader or professor. And a number is stipulated that you must publish this number in Thomson Reuters, which is the highest indexing body. It attracts funding, we have said that, and global visibility. People will know you. It encourages quality research, and it creates collaboration opportunities. People will want to work with you. So indexed journals improve discoverability. People will discover you through the database, which is in your area of specialization, and it attracts a broader readership. Many people will read what you have published, and sometimes they see your name, they don't know you. But if you're a conference person, one day somebody you introduce and say, oh, you are the one, I read your paper. I have heard that. Okay, you are the Oforma. I've been reading articles from Oforma. I've read your books, especially people in my area of specialization. I say, yes, this is me, life in body and soul. You can touch me. I'm not a spirit. So the spirits don't write papers. It's human beings when you work hard. So high visibility because of citations, and it strengthens both the author and the journal metrics. Okay. Now, mentoring. There was a time we had a workshop for newly employed staff at what is that? That hall close to UBA. Not CED, Hall of Fame. And at the end of my presentation, so many people came to me and said, I want to be your mentee. I collected their phone numbers, their names and everything. And I saw a call for research proposal. I forwarded it to them. I said, see, can we work on this? None of them responded. So you cannot just be a mentee by mouth. You have to be up and doing. You have to work hard. You have to be close to your mentor and collaborate with her. That's my PhD student that graduated last year. Today we still publish together because she's good. Tell her this is what we are going to do. This is the topic. Go about it and we see how we can publish. And we have published in many professional journals. So mentoring emerging researchers, it builds your capacity. If you find a mentor and be serious with that, go close to the person, ask questions. It will improve your capacity. It will improve your success. You will publish with the person. Sometimes if you are the major contributor, you become the first named author and your mentor is the second named author, and it fosters a global competitiveness. So what do we do as career researchers to publish in indexed journals? First, you need to find a journal in your area of specialization. Very, very important. Don't just publish anywhere because it's indexed. Check the impact factor. It fluctuates. Remember, we said that impact factor depends on, is yearly, depends on number of articles published in the journal in the year. Avoid predatory journals, those that are hacked or some personal. Some people float journals, personal journal, I can float one. And anything you write, I publish because I want to make money, or I want the journal to be alive. So you don't just publish anyhow. You have to be sure of where you're sending your paper. Then publish consistently. I told my little story. The consistent publication will promote your career. You'll be promoted as and when due, not after some years when you are due for promotion. You start running helter-skelter. I don't have enough publications. But if you have been working hard, you have more than required. Collaborate with experienced researchers to help you, to train you, because collaboration involves training. You are imbibing the research skills that will help you to produce quality papers. Focus on quality rather than quantity. So we conclude now. Research is a crucial component of postgraduate studies. It enables students to develop advanced competencies, knowledge, and expertise. Publishing in impact factor rated journals promotes relevance, quality, reputation, and visibility of research and the researcher. When they are seeing your paper, they are seeing you, and people will try to link up with you to work. It promotes citation of the journal articles to increase the H index of the journal, and it also promotes career progression. Thank you very much for your esteemed audience.
Thank you, our presenter. That was a very nice one, nice and insightful. I believe we've learned one or two things. So it's now time to engage with our resource person. If you have questions, please feel free. We ask you to unmute and you ask your question.
Yes, please.
Fine, go ahead.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know, but I've just been laughing because your presentation is just something I've been looking for all this while.
You see the essence of the workshop.
Yes, ma. I'm so pleased to hear your presentation. The question I have is in publishing in this impact factor journal, like you rightly mentioned, most of them it takes a lot of resources and energy and time to try to meet up with the standards. But most times it's frustrating. I have tried to send a lot of works and some of them have been rejected. That part is when once the work is rejected, sometimes I don't feel like going through it again because I'm already exhausted, but because I feel I've done my best and so on. But there's a part you mentioned that you try to review over again as soon as they're sending it. You try to do it at the end. Eventually, the work is being published. There's something I also want to find out. Some of these journals are money free, while others require some kind of payment. I don't know. Does Impact Factor Journal also require some fee, or once your work is standard, they just go ahead to publish it? And I also learned in some other cases that there are some kinds of journal that when you publish in, you get paid after that. I don't know how true that is, but can you enlighten me more on that?
Okay, thank you for this beautiful question. I expected that. In my presentation, I mentioned that it is not easy to publish in an indexed journal. I also said that you have to review and review and review. Don't give up, because if your paper is rejected, you must have pointed out some points where you need to rework. Rework it. You can send it to another indexed journal, if not that one. Okay, if you rework it and resend, they may still find some issues which you are expected to also review. Don't give up, I said. It is tough to publish, but it is doable. People have been publishing. So those who publish in desk journals don't have two heads. They have one head like you. So you can do it. Tell yourself, I can do it. And then you go on reviewing. Make sure, look at the areas they pointed out. Because if they just don't write you and say, your paper is not publishable or it's not acceptable, there must be issues raised by the reviewer. Revisit those issues and then resend your paper. Yes, some journals are free. It depends on the organization. Some are very expensive and in foreign currency. And that is why people do add my name. Because if you are asked to pay $2,000, for example, for one publication, you convert $2,000 to Naira, and you know what it gives. So you need to bring people, even those who have not contributed one word to the research, and say, come, join me. And you share the money, it becomes easier. That is one reason why we have this put my name syndrome, to share the cost and then be able to publish in an indexed journal. But if your paper is very good, well, you can borrow money. There are people who can lend you money if you tell them this is the essence. There are well-to-do people that say, okay, take it, go and pay. Okay? So I think that is the issue. try to work hard. Make sure your paper is of standard. Look at the scope. Read everything about that journal you want to send the paper and follow the dictates so that your paper will not be rejected. Thank you.
Okay, the next person, Chide. Chide, you unmute and ask your question. Ahamefula. Okay, next person, Levinus. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, madam. My question is this. My question goes in this way. There are two. One, is index factor measurable? That is in terms of scalability. As we check plagiarism, 20-25% for respective degrees or PGs. Then that's one. Then two, all these things we are discussing here now, is it for those going to be lecturers tomorrow and become professors, or for everybody?
For every researcher, let me take that one. If you want to, but you are doing your PhD. Is it after your PhD you go home and sleep? Is it enough for you to look for without publishing? And I have mentioned in my presentation that you are required to have one article published in an indexed journal for you to graduate. So even if you are not looking for a job, if you want to be self-employed after your PhD, you still need to publish at least one article in an indexed journal. So what is the next question?
The index factors, is it measurable in terms of scalability?
Yes, it's measurable. We have mentioned the H index, which is part of the impact factor. It's measurable. Number of citations of the journal and the number of times it has been cited. It's measurable.
It's okay. Thank you, ma'am.
The next person, Samuel Atama.
Okay. All right, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Ifeanyi Odwaro, Department of Geography and Sustainability. Thank you once again for the presentation. I wanted to know the relationship between, because I know when you talk about impact factor, I believe you're talking about high impact journals, and then I'm looking at, the relationship with impact factor to, vis-a-vis Q1, Q2 journals, these things we hear them. So I want you to shed more light on that. That is one. Then number two is on I'm looking at the role of collaboration, because I see, what we do these days is the metrics we try to promote sole publications, like individual publications, and then relegate the place of collaboration by, in terms of like if you do collaboration, they say maybe like you rightly said here, probably people just say add my name syndrome, but then there might be some work that are really, properly, you have teams put tests together, you have people from different specialty, they come together and then they want to look at a problem from, different perspectives. I think this gives a broader view, not just the human aspect, also the environmental impact as well. So, but when you look at somebody who is, wants, just kind of hydrographic, it kind of relegate the place of nomothetic, research perspective. So I would like you to shed more light on why our system, the Nigerian system in particular, prefers, the sole the sole publication rather than a collaborative effort. Then another thing I want to say, my my fellow students.
Network.
Sorry, Ifeanyi.
Okay, Ifeanyi, can you hear us?
Nepa has his light in his mouth too.
Okay, we'll take another person.
Hello, please, can I ask my question, ma?
Ifeanyi, are you back?
Hello?
Hello.
Are you back, Ifeanyi? Okay, so let's take another person.
Okay, I've been raising my hand. Can I ask a question?
Please, if we ask you, no. Wait, he will ask you to unmute yourself. We have Samuel and Tama. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ma, for the wonderful and enriching presentation. Please, I would like to know, for my colleagues in the developed countries like UK, US, Canada, they consider the quarter of the journal, they give more priority to the quarter of the journal more than the impact factor of the journal. So I don't know, how do we relate the two? Which one is more, is it should be given more priority, publishing in Cure One journal or a journal that has an impact factor? That's one map. Please, the second one is indexing body different from indexing databases? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, let me start with the last one. The indexing body is the same as the database, because the database is contains is the body. Like if you use Thomson Reuters, it has its own database, so it's the same. Where you can say database or indexing body, it's the same thing. Then the comparison. You mentioned Britain, US, Canada, and so on, and Nigeria. Each institution has its own metrics for assessing journals. Like in my presentation, I mentioned that UNN used 3 indexing bodies. Other institutions may use some other indexing bodies. So it depends. If you want to publish in a journal, you find out information about the journal and the requirements, and then stick to those requirements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Please, ma. Please, ma, there's one I want you to clarify too. Like most of my paper is in Scopus, and I think you did not mention Scopus as one of the indexing body required by UNN. So is this
Yes.
is this a problem?
Yeah. No, it's not you're a PhD student. At least you have published in an index body. Scopus is accepted by UNN, so you have no problem. But you should try to send papers to Thomson Reuters. Okay, that is the highest. You are in environmental sustainability, and that is the era we are into today. We are talking of sustainability everywhere. So I believe that if you write a good paper on environmental sustainability, Thomson Reuters will take it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Godwin, we take your question. Godwin.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to appreciate Prof. Soma for the wonderful presentation. Actually, one of my problems was the issue of having so many authors per one journal. Given the fact that the cost of payment here, so that in our own situation here, where maybe a beginner researcher, maybe a beginner researcher who's just starting cannot afford the high costs. And so in that case, how many authors should I cohort to enable me to pay such that I have a publication in such a impact factor journal? That's my one. Number two, there are also other journals who actually don't collect money, but they're actually genuine. Should we avoid such completely? Thank you so much.
No. Thank you. No. Nobody has said you should not publish in such free journals. They are good journals. Go ahead. It is to your benefit that you're not going to pay. So don't say it's a free journal, therefore it is not. Go and read about the journal. Find out what they want. If it's a good, reliable and valid journal, go ahead and publish your paper there. Then for the number of authors in a publication, it has no limitations. But if you are the key researcher, you become the lead author. You become the lead author, and it is recognized by this university. If you are the lead author, we check how many publications you have, how many of your publications you are lead author in, and we record that. It's very important. And you may be a lead author or corresponding author. That is, you'll be corresponding with the publishers. is also equated to the lead author. So both correspondent and lead author have the same influence. But the number, it depends on it. I have seen 20 people publish one paper. Nobody has punished them, but we just look at the lead author or the corresponding author. The others, you have published, yes, we count it as one of your publications because you need to publish a number of articles to move to the next level. It is stipulated 25 for professor, 20 for reader, and so on. So the number doesn't matter. If you want to be 50 and contribute one kobo, so that it will be very cheap for you, no problem. But we are going to look at the 50. We just take the lead author and the corresponding author. Thank you.
What was the Queen? What was the Queen? Go ahead with your question.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning. Beautiful morning to you, Prof. I just want to give you a hug from this end because I don't necessarily have a question, but kudos for a beautiful presentation. In that researchers like us who are a bit new.
Please, if you don't have a question, sorry, let's take others with your question. We don't have much time. Oh, thank you so much. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Thank you so much. Yes, I have a question. Thank you so much, dear Professor of and you simplified it. So my question is, you talked about publishing in your area of specialization. What if you want to publish and you see something like multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary? I used to see some of those things online. So that's what the journal will be writing. I don't really flow with this. Can you please elaborate on these three things? Thank you.
Okay, multidisciplinary means it accepts papers from different disciplines. Okay, so people in geography or in physics or mathematics or English can publish. Good, it is published. But if you want to use it for career progression, we look at your area of specialization. This is multidisciplinary, and you are writing in mathematics, but you are in geography, then it is a minor publication for you. People in mathematics, that article becomes major publication for them. So that is the difference. So you look at we don't discourage you from publishing from multidisciplinary, okay? But your paper should address your area of specialization, okay? That means that that journal accepts paper from every discipline. But if you have written in your area of specialization, it is okay. You will get all the credit because you have stayed in your area of specialization. So multidisciplinary journals show that they accept papers from different disciplines.
Okay, thank you so much. Chinyere.
Better, can I ask my question, please?
Who is the person?
My name is
the one.
Gabriel from Enugu, from Maritime Institute.
Please allow Chinyere to finish. After her, you take your question.
Okay, my name is Chinyere Achukwu. Prof, sorry, my question is, does Faculty of Health Science have journal that we can publish that is a impact factor journal? And again, the cost of publishing with the university, like I'm of nursing science, Department of Nursing, Faculty of Health Science.
is it expensive publishing with the university, or do you advise us to publish with the university? Thank you, and I enjoyed your presentation, ma. Thank you. Over.
Thank you. I don't understand you. Whether you should publish in your journal in your faculty?
No, my question is, the university, like University of Nigeria, definitely has some journals. The
yes,
way
that
we're
are indexed.
mentioning. So those journals, what is the level? Are they of impact journal?
Some of the journals are indexed. They have their IF, impact factor. They have their impact factor rating, like we have in Kenga, in Institute of African Studies. It's indexed by Scopus, Herald, Home Economics in VTE. It's also indexed. There's one in engineering that is indexed. There's one in medicine, and so on. So that shows that our university is working hard. We should not be having ordinary national or international journals. We have indexed journals. So you are free to publish in them. And if you have written in your area of specialization, it will be a lovely one. So there's no problem publishing in those journals. You don't run away because they belong to University of Nigeria. It's the same metrics that have been used to measure them, to put them in the indexed database.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I will submit my abstracts anytime they're having presentation. Thank you, your conference. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Go
ahead. Honorable Gabriel, go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. I think the last person has actually come towards the direction I'm going to.
Okay, thank you so much.
What I want to say, my question straight is, in filling the gap between the stress that the students are passing through as regards the financial inputs of publishing these papers abroad. So the direct question is, Prof, does it mean that our own university does not have the same class or is not doing anything at all to meet up with that level of the international index publishers? So I wonder why we are interested in saying publish in Thomson Reuters, publish in Schimago, publish in Scopus, when we have the intellectual capabilities of the lecturers, professors, and other people that can meet up with the same level abroad. So why are we going abroad, please?
Nobody has asked you to go abroad. I have just mentioned some of the journals that are indexed in the university. I have mentioned them. I didn't mention all of them. Some of the faculties have already have their journal indexed. So you can publish in them. It doesn't mean you have to go overseas. You're not going overseas. You go online. Everything is online. It's a global world. We are seeing ourselves as the same. So if the indexed journal is domiciled in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and it's in your area of specialization, why not publish there? People that have published in Heran, I know you have published a lot in Heran. Our colleagues, that is Home Economics Research Association of Nigeria, they're indexed in Schimago. Okay, there are others in medicine, in physics, in engineering, and so on, and us. So Ikenga is the Institute of African Studies. It's indexed. So, but you know, for you to index a journal, there are certain metrics you need to meet up with. So once your journal meets that, it's indexed. So nobody has asked you to go to Canada or go to France to publish in an indexed journal. You can do that in Nigeria. It's the same measure, the same visibility, the same accessibility, the same quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. We take that one from Nsukka. Please unmute yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor, for this wonderful presentation. I don't know if you can hear me very well.
I can hear you clearly.
All right, thank you. You talked in the course of your presentation about mentorship, and this is where your mentor, perhaps your supervisor, comes to play. Now we have done a beautiful work and we want to publish just the student, the mentee, and the mentor. And the cost is so overwhelming. And this mentor doesn't want to help in lifting part of this cost. And the students cannot bear it alone. Please, what do you suggest? Thank you.
Okay. Talk with your mentor or look for funding elsewhere. It's your work, though your mentor's name should be in that work because both of you produced that article. So if your mentor doesn't have money to sponsor it, it should not be sole sponsorship. Not only your mentor, because he's your mentor, maybe a professor, and you think professors have a lot of money, you should bring that money so that you go and pay. No, you should share it because the publication is for two of you. And then you can ask for funding elsewhere. And you can get, as a PG student, people will sympathize with you than sympathizing with a professor. So it's left for you, and it's actually your work to look for funding. And when you get it, you inform your supervisor, I have this person is ready to sponsor the publication, and that will be okay.
Okay, thank you, Ma. The second question is the place of interdisciplinary collaboration. I want to give a specific example. As an animal scientist who wants to develop our indigenous poultry species here, and instead of allowing them to just go and brood the eggs for 21 days, I want to develop an incubator that can do this. Is there a place where I can collaborate with people in agric and bioresource engineering? I've made efforts and I'm not seeming to get people who are even interested in going into the field to develop something. How do you tackle this, please? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, that is interest. Now you need to find somebody that is interested, somebody that has the competencies and then interested. If you can't find here, you can look for, ask questions outside. You will see so many people that are interested, and you collaborate. It must not be with somebody from this place. Okay, there are other universities, and there are people who are interested in the same thing you want to research on. So ask questions outside this place. If nobody shows interest, this research goes with interest. You cannot start researching what you are not interested in. Okay. So as for other universities, there are universities of science technologies here and there. You can go there because what you're looking for has to do with technology. You have the knowledge, but you're looking for the technology. Have you gone to our, not the energy center, agric and technology in the Faculty of Agriculture? Have you asked for that? As for one word, the lady is very hardworking and full science and technology. Ask if you are looking for technology. You may get.
Okay.
From other universities of agric and technology, you will get some people that are interested. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I wish you luck. I'm interested in poultry, so when you succeed, let me know.
Okay.
So you heard it. Thank you so much. We just have 5 minutes left and we only take 2 questions, please. Chidewano and the Chile, that's the last 2 questions we take. So Chidewano, over to you.
Okay.
You know,
good morning, Prof.
Please don't repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, Prof. My question is, publishing in impact factor journal is one of the criteria to graduate as a PhD student in UNN. And you mentioned that UNN only accepts from 3 index journals. I got the first one, Thomson Reuters, Scimago. I didn't get the last one.
SNIP, Source Normalization Impact Paper, SNIP. SNIP. So if you publish in any of the three, fine, you are okay.
All right, and lastly, I am
If
from
it's
the
like
faculty.
Scopus, it's in the same category with Scopus. Okay?
Okay, ma. Yes, ma. I'm from the Faculty of Agriculture. So I need to know the one that is related to my own discipline.
Okay, ask your supervisor or ask AI. Information is everywhere today. If you ask AI, we give you 1 second. A lot of them, then you have a choice.
Okay, the last question,
thank you,
please.
thank you.
The last question, Chinenye Mary. Chinenye, you're not there? Okay. Thank you. So thank you so much. What?
Can you hear me? I want to ask the last person.
Go ahead, the first, yes.
Thank you, Prof. My name is Chidi. I'm from the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Study. My question is, self-citation for people who tend to cite themselves, does it increase their H index?
No, you cannot cite yourself. You publish a paper and you cite yourself. You are behaving like a lizard that has fallen from a height and nodded and said, yes, I have done well. No, no, no. Others will read your paper and they commend you, cite you, that what you have written is correct. That is the essence of citation. And in their own publication, they will refer to your paper. Your paper will be in their reference. That is citation. You cannot cite yourself. It doesn't count.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, ma, this last question. Like,
please, we have another presentation. We can't take more calls. You can reach Prof through her email address, or you send a chat, an email to DG email. They will respond to you.
info@pgcollege.unn.edu.
So just send your questions there.
Or grace.oform@unn.edu.ng.
Okay, so check any of those emails, please use them. So thank you, Prof, for that wonderful presentation. In fact, the college did well in selecting you to come and give us an insight on this. It's a very topical issue and very disturbing because sometimes people send unsolicited mails requesting you to publish. So we've had it from Prof. Let us be guided. Thank you so much, Prof, once again for your time and for the knowledge. We are really grateful. We appreciate.
Thank you very much for having me. And if you invite me again, I'm ready to come.
Thank you so much. We will.
Thank you.
Next presentation. Let's just take 1 minute break. Just stretch yourself, stretch your hands as the next presenter comes in. You know, since morning we have been having kudos. The first one on grant writing, this one on publishing and impact factor. They are really wonderful presentations and so insightful. So the next presentation we will have you see also another important one. You all, I know you've been interested. You're interested to hear more because many of you definitely will get to that stage. And it's good you start on time to prepare so that you don't wait till the last minute to say, how do I do this? How do I do that? So like you did in the previous two we had, just make sure you listen attentively and also jot down. If you have any question, write your questions down. At the end of the presentation, you ask your question. So, yeah. So nice. So without wasting much time, our resource person is already here, waiting for us to give us another insightful and interesting lecture. Now invite the person of Professor P.C. Mefo Many of you know him. We'll speak on synopsis writing so that you know how you prepare and write your synopsis. So join me in welcoming Professor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good morning. Good morning, students. My name is Philip Mefo, and in this session of the workshop, we are going to talk about synopsis writing. Synopsis writing. And for we to start, we need to look at the general objective. That will mean what is the essence of this session of the workshop. The essence is to provide information about synopsis writing so that PhD students in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, can write clear and permissible thesis synopsis. So if we have the general objective, we could also have the specific objectives. It is expected that at the end of this lecture, you should be able to understand what a thesis synopsis is. You should also be able to distinguish a thesis synopsis from a proposal, an executive summary, and an abstract. These are related concepts. We expect also that you should be able to know the format of presenting synopsis to the board of the College of Postgraduate Studies. And of course, the whole essence is to guide students to write a clear synopsis report. For the outline, I have three major outlines: the introduction, the anatomy of a good synopsis writing, and then download and checklists. Well, you need to know that one of the requirements of every department in the university is for each to complete a project and write up a report in partial fulfillment for the award of the degree by the university. You are all postgraduate students, or rather PhD students. At this stage, I'm sure you are all aware that you are going to write a project report. And of course, in that process, the final and perhaps very important aspect of the entire process is to write a synopsis report. But what we have seen over the years is that writing PhD synopsis report is a huge problem for a number of students in this university. Many of them consider preparing a synopsis report as a long, complicated, and intimidating process. You know, so you may ask, why are students anxious to write synopsis reports? Of course, there may be many reasons, actually, but my interaction with students, what I've seen is that many students struggle to distinguish between a thesis synopsis from a proposal, an executive summary, or even an abstract. So it would be nice for us to look at these four concepts. That is synopsis, okay. Okay, so we have synopsis, we have proposal, we have executive summary, we have abstract. These, like I said, are related concepts. And I'm going to look at them from the, what's their purpose, what's their typical audience, what's the focus, the length, and of course, whether it has recommendations. Now for synopsis, what is the purpose of synopsis? Of course, all these four are summary. That's how they are related. They are all summary of a main work. So a synopsis presents a concise and a comprehensive overview of research. For University of Nigeria, Nsukka, I will say of completed research. The purpose of proposal, of course, you already know that proposal is a plan. The purpose of proposal is to convince reviewers that the proposed research is worthwhile and feasible. Executive summary, The purpose is to provide decision makers with key findings, recommendations, and implications. Then abstract summarizes a research study concisely. So if you look at this, you will see that based on purpose, many of them are related. But when you talk about the typical audience, for synopsis, the audience includes supervisors, include the postgraduate committee, like you have in the postgraduate school or postgraduate college. You have a committee there that evaluates your synopsis. And the examiners, for proposal, you have supervisors, you have proposal reviewers, you also have ethics committee or funding bodies. For executive summary, the audience is usually executives, policymakers, administrators, or sponsors. Then for abstract, of course, is researchers, academics, and journal readers. Now, the focus. The focus of synopsis is to summarize the entire research or to put the entire research in a very condensed form. Proposal, the focus is what will be studied, why, and how. For executive summary, is interested in knowing what was done, what was found, and why it matters. And then for abstract, it talks about research problems, methods, findings, and conclusion. Now, when you talk about length, the length of a synopsis is usually between 500 and 800 words. In the University of Nigeria, it's expected that it should not be longer than 2 pages of A4 paper. And that's about 700 to 800 words. For proposal, it's about 10 to 50 pages. Sometimes it could be more than 50 pages. Executive summary is usually 1 to 3 pages, but sometimes it can also be longer. For abstract, it's usually 150 to 300 words. Looking at these 4 concepts, do they have recommendation? The answer is for synopsis is usually no. So when you are writing a synopsis and you put implication or recommendation, is a red flag. Proposal, usually no, because of course, proposal, like I said, is planned, is chapters 1 to 3, you have not done anything, so no. For executive summary, yes. Of course, if you look at the focus, it tells you executive summary is interested in what was done, what was found, and why it matters. The recommendation helps you to say why it matters. And abstract, of course, requires no recommendation too. So you can see that these 4 concepts are related. They are different somehow, but they are all related. So for me, no one will get upset if an undergraduate student interchanges these concepts. But I personally would be worried if a PhD student is unable to tell the difference between the 4. So it's good that you should know that. So synopsis is like a proposal. It describes a research, but in a much shorter and more integrated form. Much shorter, like we said, when we talk about length, proposal is between 10 to 50 pages. Synopsis is between 500 to 800 words, so it's much shorter. It's integrated because it follows the structure that is seen in the work. Then it is also like an executive summary because it gives readers the essential points quickly, but it is written for academic audience and does not normally contain recommendation. You'll recall that executive summary is not written for academic audience, it's written for policymakers, administrators, or even grant funders. Synopsis is also like an abstract. It is like an abstract. In fact, for me, it is most closely related to abstract than any of the other 2. So synopsis summarizes the study, just like abstract do. But it is much longer and includes more background, literature, and methodology. Abstract is between 150 to 300 words. the synopsis is between 500 words to 800 words. So you can see that it is much longer. So having done this, what is a synopsis? A synopsis is a concise overview of the content, structure, and the main ideas of a research project. We are talking about projects. I don't know why students are afraid of synopsis that is just 2 pages, but they can write over 150 of their project report. Synopsis is a summary of your project report. That's what it's saying here. It's a concise overview, but it follows an integrated form. It follows the same structure that you have in your work. So a useful way to think about synopsis is to say that here is the whole study in miniature. Synopsis presents the essence of the study in a few pages, showing the background of the study, the objectives, a brief review of relevant literature, methodology, and the results or key findings. Why is synopsis writing important? Is it important? There are so many reasons why it's important. It's not just for the purpose we are using it here, but it is very essential. A synopsis enables researchers to figure out the core factors in the research work. So it helps to engender clarity and focus in your work. I once published a paper, and of course, my emphasis on that paper wasn't what I published. The paper was reviewed by somebody in the United Kingdom in just a synopsis, in 1 page. And in that page, he was able to bring out the importance of that paper. So a synopsis helps to show clarity and focus. A synopsis saves a lot of time by providing a short overview of the content material. So another important use of synopsis writing is time efficiency. You are all doctoral students, and you will know that during your oral examination, the first question the external examiner will ask you is, you have done this work, please can you use 10 minutes or 20 minutes, as the case may be, to tell us what you have done? And then you have over 150 pages. If you don't have a good synopsis, you may be unable to do that within the time allotted to you. So if you do a good synopsis, it helps save time. And a good synopsis is also a marketing tool. A well-written synopsis is a powerful advertising tool. It captures the interest of readers and also serves as gateway to enhancing numerous possibilities. You know, just like an abstract, if you are interested in a work and you don't want to read the entire work, a synopsis can guide you. So it's a good way to, you know, arouse your interest. And of course, if you are applying for funding, if your synopsis stands out, you are likely to win that grant. Again, crafting a synopsis earlier than completing the entire work can act as a great roadmap for writers. It facilitates organizing thoughts, structuring the content, and shaping ahead in the right direction at some point of the writing method. What we are saying is, in the University of Nigeria, when we talk about synopsis, we are referring to a finished work or a work that is almost finished. But of course, sometimes you can even write a synopsis even before you begin the work. So if you do that, synopsis becomes a kind of roadmap that will guide your writing. And then the last one, synopsis generally allow reviewers to offer healthy criticisms, as well as hints and tips that may be helpful in redefining the final work. That is, it gives room for evaluation and feedback. And let me tell you, this is the reason why the college is using it. Why you submit synopsis to the college is for this particular reason. We have talked about synopsis in general form. We are coming home to UNN. Synopsis writing in UNN, some essential points that you need to know before you begin. One is that the number of words in the title of thesis shall not exceed 25. we have what we call parsimony in research. That means we want you to have short title, but we don't want you to have short title in a way that your title becomes meaningless. So that's why the college gives you room so that the word in the title should not be more than 25. The entire synopsis must not exceed 2 pages of A4 paper. I've said this over and over. It's important, so we are repeating it. Synopsis should be reported in the past tense, and the text must be justified. When you write, if you need to see a finished synopsis is properly justified. Then the font type for the synopsis must be Times New Roman. It mustn't be Calibri. It should not be Arial or any other thing. It must be Times New Roman. Take note of that. There should be no paragraphing in the synopsis. No paragraphs at all. No paragraphs. Must be in block form. Again, all signatories must indicate their names and signatures, and their designations must be inside a bracket. These things we are saying are contained in the PG regulation, and you can download it if you don't have the hard copy. So that you don't know is not an excuse. Finally, there should be no colon on the left-hand side of the student's particulars, or rather of the student particular, or particulars as the case may be. Also, there should be no full stop at the end of your title. These are some of the things that I need you to know before we get into the structure of the synopsis writing. Well, synopsis in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, has 3 major parts. 3 major parts. The first part is what is known as the opening or the preliminary stage, preliminary page. That part contains the address and the purpose of synopsis. It contains the address and purpose of synopsis. That part also contains the candidate's particulars. That's what you will have in the preliminary stage. We will get back to this, but let's just show the structure. The next structure you have is the main body. The main body has 3 parts. Has the introduction, has the methodology, and then the results. The final part is what we call the signatories. The signatories, you have the students, you have the supervisor. If it is 1 supervisor, 1. If you have 2 supervisors, you have your head of department, and then you have the chairman of the PG board in your faculty. And their names must be listed, there must be signature, and their designations must be inside the bracket. Otherwise, you are likely to repeat the synopsis. Now let's get back to the first, that opening, that preliminary page. That preliminary page, I say, contains 2 basic items, or 3, 2. The first one is the address, which is the University of Nigeria, Nsukka College of Postgraduate Studies. The purpose of the synopsis is application for approval of title of thesis. And then you have the student's particulars. Name of student, registration number, department, faculty, degree in view, expected year of graduation, proposed title. But this is not as simple as it appears. So there are some technical things that you need to note here. Otherwise, if you don't note them, then you will come back to make a representation. The first one is that the University of Nigeria, Nsukka College of Postgraduate Studies, application of approval for title of thesis, and all the things in the student particulars on the left-hand side are in bold letters. They are all capitalized letters. They are all in bold fonts. So this needs to be noted. Now again, the University of Nigeria, Nsukka is in bold font. The font size is 14. It must be 14. The College of Postgraduate Studies is in bold capital letters. the font size is 12. Between the University of Nigeria Nsukka and College of Postgraduate Studies, what you have is single line space. When you have College of Postgraduate Studies, before the application of approval for title of thesis is a double line space. Has to be double line space. Application for approval of title of thesis, before you have the student's particulars, is again double line space. You have the double line space, then you have name of students. If you recall what we said when we talk about the some essentials, some students write name of student, they put colon before they write the name. If you put colon, you will come back. There is no colon. So it's just name of students, you write the name of the students, and the name of students, the surname must be in capital and marked off with a comma. The surname must be in comma, in capital letter. Then the first and the middle name will begin with initial capitals. Then the registration number, no colon again, is PG, PhD. You look at PhD, the way it is written. We have the American version and we have the British version. Of course, we were colonized by the British, so we are using the British format, which is PH.D. That dot, if you don't put the dot, you will come back. And of course, the PhD, of course, the proper British way of putting PhD is PH dot, capital D dot. But because University of Nigeria Nsukka is unique, the last dot after the D is not there. So these things are critical. You need to note this. Then your department, you put your department, your faculty, you put your faculty. These candidates, of course, this is my own. My faculty is the social sciences. So if you are from the faculty of the social sciences, you don't put faculty, social sciences. If you put social sciences, you will come back. That article there, social sciences must be there. So note it. Degree in view, I've already mentioned that PhD, PH.D, and then any other thing. Then the title must be justified, assuming that the title is run under another line. It must be justified. The space between the first line and the second line is single line space. Single line space for the title, single line space. For student particulars, both on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side, for example, name of students and the registration number. The distance between them is 1.3 line spacing. Now, let me just go up a bit again. On the application for approval of title of thesis, the font size is 11. From that point till the end of the synopsis, the font size is 11. It's just that some have capital letters, some don't have. Maybe if you have any question here, you can ask during the question time, but I think I've exhausted all that needs to be said here. So we need to go to the next structure, which is the main body. And the main body, like I said, has three important parts. One is introduction, the other one is methodology, and then you have the results. But an important thing to note, let's get back here. This is the preliminary stage. You have the address, you have the reason for the synopsis, you have student particulars, and after the title, you have synopsis. So after the title, there's a double line spacing before you have the synopsis. There's a double line spacing. So I have taken this synopsis to the next page, so that's why I just came back. That's the synopsis. So this synopsis, before you have the introduction, there's a double line space before introduction. The introduction is in bold letters and is in capital letter. That should be noted. The distance between introduction and the first letter in introduction is 1.3 line spacing. 1.3 line spacing. This, well, the introduction, needless to tell you about anything in introduction, this is your research work, but of course, for purpose of what we are doing here, this is a brief description that specifies the problem to be studied and tells why it is important. A good introduction should consider the following questions. Why is the problem important? What was done previously? What gap did the study fill? What are the general and specific objectives of the study? And I said, note that each research should contain one general or broad objective, which describes the contribution of the study to the subject area, as well as two or more specific objectives that focus on the questions asked in the study. So you must have a general or broad objective. Immediately after that, you have specific objectives. Your specific objectives are numbered I, IV, as the case may be, and marked off with a semicolon. Marked off with a semicolon, not a comma. This should be noted. After the introduction, the next thing is the methodology. The next thing is the methodology. If you see IV, determine the effect of ASBCEF on the histology of the brain tissues, is the last line of the introduction. So the last line of the introduction, the gap between that and methodology is also double space. Methodology is capitalized, is bold, in bold fonts. And the distance between methodology and the first line of methodology is 1.3 line spacing. These things are critical. You know what methodology is in your area of interest. Methodology describes in detail the operations performed in the research and covers sections such as subjects, apparatus or materials, procedure, and design/data analysis. And I added an often overlooked part of the synopsis is the design. What is your design? Is it a mixed design, independent group design, longitudinal design, or cross-sectional design? These things are important. But what we've seen often is that most students don't seem to know the design they are using. So after the methodology, the next thing you'll have is results. And then statistical difference between groups means we are obtained using one-way analysis of variance was the last sentence in methodology. So that last sentence, before you have the result, there's a double line space. Double line space before you have results. Capital letter is in bold font. When you have the result, the first letter of result, or rather the distance between result and first letter, is 1.3 line spacing. In fact, everything is 1 point. That's when you are writing methodology, everything methodology, the distance between 1 and 2 lines is 1.3 line spacing. The same thing in introduction, the same thing in result. The result should capture the major findings of the study without preamble, and it should faithfully address the specific objectives posed in the introduction subsection. This is very clear. Don't make any opening statement when you want to present your result. Present your result the way you presented your specific objectives, so that we check and be sure that each result is responding to each specific objectives. And we said results should not carry recommendations, suggestions, implications, or conclusions. We've already said that when we're talking or when we're comparing synopsis, executive summary, proposal, and abstract. So what we want is just your result, no recommendation, no implication. Then the last part, the third part, is the signatories. The signatories, and we have a regulation. We have a regulation, I think you can see it, the postgraduate studies regulation. And on section 52, subsection 5, it states as thus: for a title to be approved, the synopsis should have been signed by the student, student supervisor, head of department and chairman of faculty postgraduate committee. Please, so you can submit your synopsis like this. The student must sign, your supervisor must sign. If you have two supervisors, the two of them must sign, the head of department must sign, and then the chairman of the faculty board in your faculty should also sign. And their designations, their rank, student. The first one, Mefo Philip Chukwuemeka, that's the student. Student must be in bracket. Professor Julius Ozioko, supervisor. Supervisor must be in bracket. Dr. Edwin Sionyeneje is head of department. Head of department must be in bracket. So all the designations, Dr. Chikelu Ofuebe is the faculty rep, he must be in bracket. So every designation must be inside the bracket. If it is not inside the bracket, then you will come again. I think we should be running up. I've just mentioned the postgraduate studies regulation. I don't know whether you have it or whether you don't, but if you don't have it, like I said, an excuse that you don't know is not enough reason. Once you make any mistake in what I've said, then you will come back again. So I'll advise you to get this. Online is online. And then how to download the postgraduate regulation is to go to the homepage of the university, which is www.unn.edu.ng. Once you go there, then select the option students and click on the menu. The menu will take you to postgraduate school. When you get to the postgraduate school, there's another option, which is the about option. Click on that. And once you click on that, it will bring so many options. Select postgraduate regulation and then choose whether you want it in PDF or in Word document, then the download. It will be delivered to you. Well, I think I've come to the end of this. There's some knowledge checks or assessments which you will do. You can do it while you are sitting there. If you get it right, then it means you are following me. But if you don't get it right, well, you need to download the slide and go over it again. So students' surname should be in uppercase letters. True or false? Answer it and note it there. The entire text of the synopsis should be what number of pages of A4 paper? Is it 5, 3, or 7? What particulars of the signatories should be inside the bracket? Is it the name of the signatories? Is it their designations? Is it the date or whatever? Note that. What is the line space between synopsis and introduction in a synopsis report? You recall that if you see a synopsis report, after the title, there's synopsis. Then after that synopsis, you have introduction. So what is the line space between synopsis and introduction in a synopsis report? What font type is used in synopsis writing? Is it Calibri? Is it Arial? Or something else? Let's know in the comment section. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the lecture. It's very clear.
It's now time for your question.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you.
It's an interesting one. But I just want to quickly ask if it's possible for us to get the slide, the material.
Yes,
Jimoba is my name from Department of Economics, Ph.D.
You can. It will be hosted online at the PG website. You can download it from there.
Okay, we take questions now. Leonard, are you ready? Please, if you don't have any question, don't raise up your hand. What we need is question, not contributions or whatever. So please, Leonard, go ahead. Ejimo4. Okay, let's take another person. Idoko. Unmute Idoko. Idoko Immaculata.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof, for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much.
In the course of the presentation, you gave the difference between synopsis and abstract in terms of the wordings. That synopsis is about 500 to 800 wordings and abstract is less than that. Please, Prof, can you give us more of these examples of the differences between synopsis and abstract?
Well, I think I gave that. I said that synopsis is short. And the best way to differentiate a synopsis from an abstract is to look at the length, because they both do almost the same thing. They are all summaries of an entire research. So in terms of the length, abstract is between 150 words to 300 words. And then synopsis is between 500 to 800 words. So the point is that synopsis is longer, very much longer than an abstract. And synopsis is a bit more integrative in the sense that it talks about introduction, talks about methodology, talks about results, but in abstract, it is just a one paragraph thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Emmanuel Iwang, are you there?
Thank you so much, Prof, for the presentation. It was top notch. So I want to ask, Prof, the synopsis approval, does it lead to external examination? Like once the synopsis is approved, will it lead to external examination? That's oral. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much. Well, to answer your question, maybe I will read from the regulation. Item number 1, it says, before an oral examination is conducted, the title of the thesis must have been approved by the Senate on the recommendations of the departmental and the faculty postgraduate studies committee and the board of the College of Postgraduate Studies. So the external examiner has nothing to do with your project. That's just absolutely nothing to do with your project. There is a committee in the postgraduate school, in postgraduate college, that approves your synopsis, but you cannot do exam until after your synopsis has been approved by the college. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Onyeko Zulu. Omeke.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Prof. Please, my question is, from my understanding, synopsis is a short summary of a finished thesis or project. But then when you were lecturing, you told us that we are supposed to apply for a title, approval of title. So I'm asking, are we supposed to apply for this title first or while we write our synopsis, while we submit our synopsis? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, of course, depending on your department, we have title approval, which I believe your supervisor and your department should approve your title before you go to your proposal stage. But when you're writing synopsis, you should approve. What you are requesting for is approval of title of thesis. At that stage, we can just make a little correction, or rather the committee is likely to make little or no correction on your title, because your title must have gone some stages. From the department, your supervisor has seen it. You come for seminars or proposal, your supervisor and the faculty or a departmental board will have seen it. So we believe that before a title comes to the College of Postgraduate Studies, because before it comes to the college, it must have gone to the department, then to the faculty, and from the faculty to the college. Yes, it passes through many processes. So your synopsis is approved with your title. So it's not at the point of writing synopsis that you choose a title. Like I said, synopsis is a summary of a finished work or almost finished work. So by the time it comes to the college, you already know what you are doing, and then there's not much change that will be done.
All right, thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Miracle, Abba.
All right, Prof. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. And my question would be, why is it that the University of Nigeria and Nsukka is paying so much attention to technicalities in terms of double line spacing? This has to be this way and that way, and not on the substance or what should be contained in it. Because, Prof, you mentioned several times that we should take note of the spacing, the full stops, the punctuations, how we do not need to add a colon after the name and all of those. Is it just about fulfilling that formality, that technicality, or is it also about the substance of what you've written, regardless of the technicalities involved?
Thank you very much. The interest is about the content, about what you have written, not the technicalities. Well, you can't ignore the technicalities. You have to get the technicalities first before we consider the content. So both of them are what is required. I wouldn't know why emphasis is laid on those technicalities, but of course, if you are able to carry out technicalities, is a sign that you are able to obey instructions. So it's the style of the college, or rather the university. Thank you.
Okay, Samuel Atama. Are you there, Samuel Atama?
Yes, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Prof, for the presentation. Please, I would like to know the interval of time, how long it takes from submission to approval of this thesis synopsis, because I know some people usually complain about the bottlenecks and that usually delays the approval of this thesis synopsis. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it does not take much time, except if you don't do the right thing, like these technicalities that I pointed out. If you're unable to follow them too, then you are likely going to repeat your synopsis. But of course, like I said, synopsis, when you write a synopsis, you present to your department. The department will forward it to the faculty. The faculty will consider it and bring it to the college. At the college, the synopsis committee meet 2 times. They meet on the second week of every month and the last week of every month. So synopses are considered twice in the College of Postgraduate Studies. With that, you can tell that it doesn't take time. It can only take time if you do the wrong things and then it's sent back for you to begin all over again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chidiwan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good afternoon, Prof. Thank you for simplifying synopsis writing. It used to look like a rocket science to me, but now it has been made easy. Because of the attention to the technicalities, I want to know, because I saw page border on your sample. Will there be page border on synopsis?
Page border,
yes.
I wish I understand what you mean.
Yes, page border. Page border is just like a line. I don't know how to describe surrounding line in the. I don't know.
No. There should not be. But of course, like I said, the content should be justified and justified in such a way that at each margin, left and right, there should be one margin.
Right, I got that clearly. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Leonard, are you back again? Wabweze, Queen.
Thank you so much, Prof. My question is on the proposal writing, because that's the stage we're in now. You hinted on it, but I think because of my own network, I lost some part of it. So could you please tell us more on the proposal writing, please, sir?
I didn't get the question.
Your question again, she's talking about.
It's on writing the proposal. Not the synopsis now, but the proposal. We are at the stage of now. So write the proposal. Yes, I was asking if, yes, in your presentation you hinted it was just a hint on your presentation. So I'm asking if you could please just out of mercy, please talk about it some more, because it's not really clear to me what to do.
Okay, I think maybe I got your question now. What we are talking about is synopsis, not proposal. We just brought proposal to characterize synopsis from proposal and other similar concepts. But of course, proposal there's not much to say about proposal, except because it's the first line of research. It is departmental specific. It is specific to the course you are doing. It is specific to your project. It is something that you need to work with your supervisor and with peers. The proposal usually is the introduction, the literature review, and the method. Like I said, proposal is a plan. The whole essence is to convince reviewers that this topic you are presented is researchable, that you are going to do it, and then you present your methods or the method you want to apply, because those people are already in the process. They'll be able to tell whether the methods you are going to use will actually yield or solve the problems. So there's not much to teach about proposal, except if I know your topic. If I know your topic, then you have my email. You can write me or come to me, then we'll talk about it. I need to see your proposal to be able to advise on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne Morgan, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the presentation. I want to ask, the preliminary page, the words on the preliminary page, that's your particulars and the title and the rest of them, are they included in the 500 to 800 words you talked about that should be in the synopsis?
Thank you. Yes, they are included. They are included, every word. So, of course, don't count the words. Don't count the number of words. What you should do is to follow the technicalities. It has to be A4 and it must be 2 pages. Once you do that, approximately what you have there is just less than 800 words.
Okay, sir.
So it's included, yeah.
Yeah. John, John, go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof, for your wonderful presentation. Mine is, you just read from the regulation of College of Postgraduate Studies, when you said that before any student appear for oral examination, he must present before the College of Postgraduate Studies, his title or her title for approval. And I'm asking, is it not better we recouch that approval of title to something else? Because if one has done seminar 1, which is research proposal, has done seminar 2, which is internal defense, and he is now ready for external examiners review, which is where this synopsis is required. Why don't we now look at the possibility, since these things are not cast on stone, why do we now start talking about approval of title when it has been approved by the supervisor, probably with the faculty board, of departmental board and faculty too? Why do we have to now wait until when we get to the level of oral examination, we now begin to talk about this? I think it doesn't sound clear to me. But however, everything you said is understandable, but I think we need to look at that wording, application for approval of title, when those things have been done. I think it's progressive from my own point of view. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. If you had listened when I was answering one of the questionnaires before, you will know that I said that titles, by the time it comes to the college, it is hardly disproved. It is not that it's not the title that we're actually concerned with, but of course we look at the committee looks at the title actually, but it is most unlikely to outrightly cancel the title at that stage. But of course, because it has gone the thesis proposal, it has gone to proposal, it has gone for title proposal, thesis proposal, internal defense. Actually, you are supposed to start writing your project or your synopsis after your internal defense when you are sure about all the results. We're no longer having expected results, we have results. So it is only, it's not always that in fact, it's even rare that your title submitted to the college will be cancelled. It can just be corrected. But of course, let's look at the regulation again. Section 52, item 6. It states, where there is a substantial change in the title, after approval, a new title should be represented for approval. So you can see these are processes. You have started your title with your supervisor, went for proposal, it went through, went for internal defense, it went through. It comes to even the College of PG school, it went through. But during your oral defense, an external examiner could come and then say that this topic is not researchable, and they start talking about the topic. Of course, that decision is being made in front of the departmental board. If the department agrees and they change the topic, you have to start all over again, not all over again from the chapter 1, but you need to represent your synopsis to the college. So the point is the university knows why they made it so, and it is not retrogressive in any way. Thank you very much. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, Prof, you tried very well. Prof, you are very clear, but I'm just saying, and that's my
Okay, thank you. Well noted, please. Let's take that of Stanley.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. So I just wanted to ask. It seems to me that the school is very big on this technical issue. Somebody raised it, but that's fine. I will have to stick to what the school requires for us to do. But in doing that, I don't know. I didn't hear you mention anything about the font size.
You have 2 devices there. Can you please off one?
Unfortunately, I have only one. Surprisingly, I don't know.
So why the echo? I can't hear you very well. There's echo problem.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't get your question though.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the font type. The type, we never mentioned it because I heard about the size, in some instances the case, and the spaces for the font type. You never mentioned it.
Are you using earphone?
I'm not.
So why the echo?
Very surprising.
We can't hear you very well.
I will try and maybe switch to my phone and then call back again.
No, okay, switch off and cover, please.
Yeah.
Okay, Chidi Nobis, are you there? You have a question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead with your question, Chidi Nobis.
Okay, the question I have, Prof, is you said that the total page for synopsis is 2 pages. Does that include the preliminary pages and the last page, which is the signatory pages?
Of course, it does. It does. Synopsis include, like I said, synopsis has 3 parts. You have the preliminary, you have the main body, and then you have signatories. These 3 parts must be contained in A4 paper, 2 pages, not more than 2 pages.
But Prof, the introductory part is already 1 page alone. That is the preliminary.
Who told you it's already 1 page? This thing is summary. It's a summary. Okay. It requires scale. It's not just summary for your introduction. If you recall the page where I talked about synopsis, it includes even your literature review, or rather, even that introduction where I talk about the gaps, it means you need to make reference to the literature review. You need to tell us what others have done and what is the gap and what are you going to do. State your general objectives, then the general objective, then before your specific objectives. So it's a scale, it's an art, not you just introduction, go and copy introduction from your work and put there. No, it's not that. You need to summarize your introduction and then get the important parts in the literature review. It shouldn't be more than half a page.
And lastly, Prof, the landscape, is it going to be portrait or landscape, please?
It's going to be portrait. It's going to be portrait.
Okay, portrait.
Okay, please, we take the last question from Onibo Gabriel.
Prof, I'm here. I was talking. I didn't know that I was muted. I muted myself. So
Onibo Gabriel, go ahead with your question.
Hello, Prof. I thought this is Chidi Nobi Selendo.
Okay, keep on. Go on.
Yeah. Yes, Prof, I must start by firstly thanking you for this incisive lecture of yours. As I said in one of my comments, I said it is interestingly engaging and concise.
Please go ahead and ask your question. We don't have time. We want to close. Please ask the question.
I'm sorry about that. Let me then cut it short then. Someone has already actually taken major part of the questions that I wanted to ask. That is a question relating to technicality. The aspect of it I want to have some clarity is what is the significance of putting names of people, designations of officers in brackets? What is the significance?
That's the style of the university. It's a style. If somebody says this is the way I do things, you just need to follow, just need to comply. That's the style of the university.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Okay.
Prof, may I ask a question? A very simple question, please.
No, please. Excuse me, please. Don't just jump in and start asking questions. Honey, were you there? Have they asked your question? Okay, if they have asked your question, we'll take that of Ibe Anya.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Ma. Mine is a very simple question. You made mention of Ph.D as the official way to write PhD. Are the three letters supposed to be all in capital letters, Prof? Thank you.
No, they are not all to be in capital letters. It is P, capital letter, H, small letter, dot, and then capital D. That's the style. But the important thing, most of these questions you people are asking can be obtained from the student regulation. So just follow the framework that I gave and download this from the college. Thank you very much. It will help you.
Please, can I ask a question, please?
Can I go ahead?
This way.
Please, we don't have time. Please, we exhausted our time. Please, thank you. What you will do,
I understood what you.
You can send him an email. You can send him an email. Just go send him an email.
Question now. Can't I ask this question? You give me a chance to answer.
Your email.
Oh, please.
Some of them are asking for me.
Why are these people behaving like this?
Also, your faculty and your department, you can also liaise with them when they organize anything like this. So this is Prof's email. Just try and reach him. Send him your question. Anyone that you couldn't answer here, just send it to him. He will respond to your question and give you the feedback. So sorry, we can't take all the questions. You have other things to do. So I believe since morning, you've gained a lot of things. You've gained a lot from what we did today. So I will encourage you to read through. If you have any question, feel free to ask the resource persons. They will respond to your questions. And this will really help. In fact, since yesterday, we've done a lot, and it will really help you to shape your PhD research. So try and make good use of the knowledge. Don't allow it to lie waste. So right now, I invite the chairman of this committee that really packaged and organized this program to give us a closing remark. They really did well. So thank you and welcome Professor Okoro.
Thank you, Professor Kwon. I think we have all done quite well. The resource persons have done justice to the topics. So, and we are happy that many students asked questions. Please, just a reminder, all the workshop presentations will be hosted at the website. So your duty is to visit the website and download whichever one that you think is important to you, and then study it. But please make sure that when these courses are mounted at the faculty or the departmental level, that you are part of it, so that you have a result, so that when we are ready with the certificates, you collect from faculties through departments certificates for these presentations and for attendance. We are going to have them. I think I want to thank you so much for being available. There are some of you that failed to attend, but well, that is I would say is their cup of tea, because it means that by next season, they will also come. Since the situation is that if you don't participate, you will not have your degree certificate when you are ready. So once more, let me use the opportunity to thank the administration of Professor Tuanya, the Vice Chancellor of this university, and all the principal officers of this university. Then also thank the provost of the College of Postgraduate Studies for the opportunity to organize the workshops, and also thank members of my committee for an excellent job they have done. And for the students, I thank all of you, because without you, we would not be here. So I thank you, and let God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.